Karens are known for testing everyone's limits, sticking their nose where it doesn't belong. But what happens when a royal guard loses their patience with a Karen? In today's video, we'll be diving into some of the instances when a royal guard lost their patience with a Karen. We all know Karens don't understand personal boundaries, right? This is one of those instances. The guard already feels uncomfortable until he shouts a much louder order at the woman. I guess updating that Instagram photo is worth getting on the guard's bad side. Get a grip, Karen.
Get off the reins! There you go. Go away. I'll do it again. I won't do it again after this. Sorry about that. Sorry. I won't. Don't you worry.
This woman's behavior was getting a little too disrespectful. Despite the guard's nudges to stay away, this Karen kept nudging the horse's reins until he had finally had enough. Even when an officer came to set her straight, she still persisted, making a spectacle of herself.
Get back to the dead right now!
Playing tug-of-war with a royal horse is just plain disrespectful. After being warded off by the police, it's clear he hasn't had his fill yet.
Make way for the Queen's Guard!
As you can imagine, that must have been quite painful. Despite the sign posted beside the guard, some Karens cannot get a hold of themselves. After taking turns with pictures, the horse finally snapped, biting the young lady's arm before letting go. Thankfully, she didn't sustain any lasting injuries, but maybe that'll serve as a lesson.
Get back!
It's so sad that a Karen never learns her place, as we can see in this video. Despite his stern warning, this woman leans in for a photo, risking getting bit by the horse. When you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. That is the case of this Karen, who felt a selfie was worth standing in the way of a royal guard. Safe to say she will not be doing that again.
Stop being so damn rude. Fuck off. Piss off. Piss off. Fuck you touching, you know? Piss off. Fuck you touching now. Piss off. Piss off. Fuck off,
This TikToker took the content creator role a little too far. After getting told off severely as he pointed his mic at the guard, a bystander finally had enough, telling him to stop acting annoying. The standoff was so intense until the police finally stepped in, taking the boy away.
Может спотягнуться? Вот так вот, смотри. Get down.
Это нам.
Слушайте, правда, get down, точно. Скинь это на ноутбук, чтобы, не дай бог, не потерять. Тёма, не следи эту. Тёма. Тёма.
Stay off the back!
Yes. О.
Тёма, это...
Karen's provoking a guard to the point where he draws his gun is stupid, but these two think the social media attention is worth it. After several warnings to stay off the fence, the duo finally get the scare of their lives as the guard aims his gun at them, telling them to stay off the fence. A rude and disrespectful behavior from the tourist, scaling private property.
Oh! Get yourself away! You can't be done that shit on there, no! Do it one!
Busting out dance moves in front of the royal guard is dumb. Thankfully, the guard had had enough, ordering him to leave the premises. Teasing a royal guard is never a brilliant idea, and this girl just found out in the most startling fashion.
Do not touch the Queen's Guard!
Everybody knows that touching someone's face without permission is most definitely a terrible idea. Not this man. He thought it would be funny to touch the Queen's Guard on camera. Well, safe to say, he found out the hard way.
Get up, Fred! Get up, Fred!
This lady's persistence is something else. After several failed attempts to grab the horse's reins, to which she fell, the guard had finally had enough, barking an order to get off. Not exactly a smart move bringing a baby so close to a horse. Thankfully, the mom caught herself in time and picked her baby's safety over a photo op.
Now, there's a very important building.
Pushing your luck with a horse that clearly doesn't want to be touched is not the smartest move. The bite must serve as a learning moment. This woman knows all about that, messing with the wrong horse until she's now horse kibble. The giant sign that says beware wasn't enough for her apparently.
Why do you do that? The army's here to protect the crown jewels, they're not here for the public to make fun of. Right, he's a soldier, he serves his country, and he deserves to be treated with a little bit of respect. Throwing your gloves at him isn't going to work, is it really?
If throwing your glove at a royal guard is on your bucket list, you should definitely rethink that. This couple expected the guard to pick up their glove, but got an earful instead.
His gun is jammed. Can you see the knife on top of it? You can't shoot.
Get back to the Queen's Guard!
I think we can all agree that touching a royal guard on the shoulder is arguably one of the top 10 stupidest things you can do. Well, this man didn't, as he took teasing a royal guard for a video a little too far. Getting the warning of his life will shock him to his bones. A fitting punishment for invading a guard's personal space. This woman had gotten too close when the horse snapped at her. The guard is pleased as he did not have to intervene, setting an example of the handsy Karen. Yanking at the royal guard's horse like you own it is disrespectful in itself. Putting up an attitude when told no makes it an even more pitiful spectacle. This guy walked up to the royal guard, pulling on the reins for a photo. The guard pulled the reins, trying to get the man away, but being as dumb as they come, This hint only serves as an encouragement. Only when he gets a stern warning from the guard does he finally walk away in defeat. And even then, he sneers in defiance. The guard finally calls an officer, which wipes the smirk off his face. Karens are a different breed. This group of Karens are about to be schooled in the art of personal space. The lead Karen distracts the guard, while the others agitate the horse. The anxious horse gets uncomfortable at the teasing until an officer intervenes. Even then, the group wouldn't take no for an answer, but the guard had had enough, charging at the group and sending them scattering in defeat. This man was ready to fight a royal guard even after being marched on. His defiant stance drew in an officer who told the man off. The man, acting as if the horse was his to command, told it to move as if it was his property. The officer had to intervene before the man eventually backed off. A Karen wouldn't be a Karen if they listened, right? After several warnings, this woman continued to shove the camera in the guard's face. The guard loudly shut her up, but that was not enough. He marched her off to let her know that she was not welcome. It's almost as if Karens are built without working ears. This duo got up close and personal with a royal guard, so a trooper ordered them to move, but a Karen would never listen. One of the women stayed behind, ignoring the trooper's orders. Only when she is scolded by the guard does she run back into the crowd. Typical Karen. This guy thought mocking a royal guard was fun until he got an earful. After making silly movements around the guard mocking him, the guard finally snaps, stamping his foot on the floor and yelling at him. He quickly runs back, keeping his distance from the guard. No one likes it when a Karen gets a little too close for comfort. At first, this seems like a normal photo op between two couples, but that's not all. It doesn't take long for this lady to reach over and touch the guard's plume. The guard just glares at her, but like most Karens, hints are not their thing. She does it again, and this time, the guard turns around and stomps away, leaving the Karen perplexed. You can almost tell she's going to play the victim in her version of the story later. Mocking a guard on duty is truly disrespectful, and that is what this group of Karens came to do. They would mimic the guard's movements and sneer at him. He stomped loudly, trying to ward them off, but only when he calls an officer do they disperse in shame. But even that didn't last long, as they would eventually reconvene on another guard and resume their taunts, making funny poses. This guard had enough of the crowd, so he wants to disperse them. He marches out into the crowd. A man gets in the way, but he chest bumps him off like a sack of potatoes. That ought to show him. That concludes the video. Please make sure to leave a like and comment. Until next time.